and welcome back to Rosalind's Kitchen. Tonight we're going to be making French onion beef meatloaf. See? And hopefully it'll turn out well. Before I go on, I don't know how many more of these I'll be able to do because I don't know if my dad's gonna, he's kind of being grumpy about it. So we will go as long as we can, and if suddenly I'm not here anymore, you'll know it's because I had to cancel. So let's get into what we're doing. And this totally reflects my day. All right, so we have caramelized onion jelly, jam, bacon bits, garlic salt, of course the meat, the onions, the cream cheese, the cheese, Parmesan I think it is, mayonnaise, crackers, and Brussels sprouts. Not quite sure how the Brussels sprouts are going to turn out because neither my dad nor I are real big Brussels sprout eaters. But I remember another one that I made that, it came out well. The Brussels sprouts actually tasted pretty good after being roasted. And so we're going to try and see if that was just a fluke or if it really was, you know? So the first thing I'm going to be doing is cutting these little skulls up into halves, lengthwise, and then we will go from there. All right, so I cut the ends off of them, and now I am cutting them in half. So that we can and taking off the outer leaves so that all we have are the tender inner leaves. I don't know if that's going to make a lot of difference, but it might. I have a feeling that at least some of these Brussels sprouts are going to end up being eaten by my dogs. But, you know, we're going to give them a shot. Because the last time I made these, I think I remember that they acquired kind of a sweet taste from being roasted. And I'm not sure if that's like wishful thinking on my part or if they really did, but we're going to give it a shot. So here we go, and we have our cut up Brussels sprouts, and we're going to give it a shot. Okay, so the next thing I need to do with these little guys, well, now I need to cut up my onions, so we'll move on. Now I'm told to cut these up and keep the white separate from the green, which is a common theme, and thinly sliced, so that's about as thin as it can get. All right, so my green and my white. Now, I'm going to take my little saltine cracker and smush it finely. We want to squish it really, really good so that we get just small crumbs. Squish, 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 squish. All right, now, what we're going to do is we're going to prepare our sprouts, which are going to get the white onion part with them. And we're going to add some olive oil and a half a teaspoon of salt and a pinch of pepper. So let's get that together. All right, so the Brussels sprouts, half a teaspoon of salt. Note to self, unzip the bag before you get the salt. And a pinch of pepper. Put together and shake, 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 shake. Shake your booty, shake your booty. Shake, 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 shake. Okay, now that it has been shaken up, now I'm going to be putting it on my pan that I have prepared and covering 1/2 of my pan. And yes, I did just put it down on the green part. You did not miss that. Now, I have to turn all of these little guys down onto their faces or onto their cut parts. Now, the other half of my pan is going to be used for my meatloaf, but I have to turn this down. There we go, squish. Everybody facing down, yes. Yay! And there was great rejoicing. All right. Now, to make my meatloaf. And as you can see, the green is still there. I'm heating my oven to 400. I forgot to mention that, but there we go. And now I need to combine the beef, the crackers, the mayonnaise, the garlic salt, and a teaspoon of pepper, 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper, and make it into 2 loaves. So let us get that done. All right, so here's my meat. Here's my mayonnaise. Here's my garlic salt. Here are my crumbs. And 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper. All right, so now we need to mix this up. Squish, 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 squish. Squish, 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 squish. It's kind of like playing with Play-Doh when you were in kindergarten, you know? It's like, oh, squish the dough. But you want to get it all mixed up so that it's evenly distributed with the crackers and with the mayonnaise and with the seasoning salt, because you don't want one part to be completely salty and the other parts not to be. There we go. That looks pretty good to me. All right, now squeeze you in half, roll you into a ball, and flatten you out. That one looks a little small. Okay, neglected that one a little bit. All right, pretty close, I think. And now we're going to put these bad boys on the other half of the pan. And put it in the oven. So there they are, ready to go in the oven. All right, so here are my Brussels sprouts. Now I have to let my meatloaf and that rest. And while I'm resting the meatloaf and that, I'm going to be making the sauce. All right, so small pan over medium-high heat, 1/3 cup of water, my onion jelly, bloop, my cream cheese, and a pinch of pepper, a pinch of salt, and bring to a simmer. Basically, let the cream cheese melt. Oh, and this was not Parmesan, this is Swiss. I just didn't recognize it because it didn't have any holes in it. So, you know, there you go. So I'm bringing this to a simmer, or I think when they say simmer, they mean boil. And then I will add the Swiss cheese to it. So I'll be back. All right, so it's creamy now. Now I'm going to add my Swiss cheese. Stir it. And see? Looks pretty good, huh? All right, so now we just have to plate it. All right, so there is our meatloaves. Now you will notice that there's cheese on my Brussels sprouts. That's because Daddy expressed an interest in only having Brussels sprouts if there was cheese on them. And I do try to work with my father on these things. Plus, it'll make my dogs happy. Yeah. A little one for him. Right. And the sauce on the meatloaf with more cheese. Could you say my family's a little cheesy? Yeah, that would be a good thing to say. And put a little green onions on there. This is what it's supposed to look like. This is what it does look like. Now let's see what it tastes like. I'll be back. All right, so tonight's meal was, the meatloaf was good. The Brussels sprouts did not work because they didn't cook enough and so they were tough. So it was a half and half, so I go with fair. So hopefully tomorrow we'll be having farmhouse chicken. So until then, remember, all lives matter.